Ahoy there, I'm Tiny Pirate. Welcome to some channel news for June. Yes, I should have recorded this a couple of weeks ago, but I've been having some real computer troubles which have pretty much stopped me doing much of anything. As any of you who follow my Twitter or have watched any of my streams will know, my computer that I usually record on died a few weeks ago. Looks like at least one of the RAID arrays has gone kaput. And that means that I won't quite likely be able to recover a lot of files, and I'll talk about that in a second. So what I've been doing since then is I've managed to buy myself a new computer, which I really only could afford to do because of the very generous support of you all who watch my videos, as well as my patrons. And I'll just list them off now and say thank you to Shim, Icy Thulu, Ricky Two Shoes, Rashar, Bert, Parkour, Jason, and Nick from Indie Game News. And thank you also to those of you who have been patrons in the past and have come and gone. That's also, I appreciate it a lot. I know how it is. You can't always support everybody you'd like to. Really, their support and your support watching these videos has really been the thing that's allowed me to justify buying a new computer. So really appreciate that. So this new computer has allowed me to do a bit of streaming, and I've really enjoyed that. It's been a lot of fun. I plan to do more of it on the channel. And so now we get on to some discussion about what's going on here. So on the screen right now is Dwarf Fortress. This is the Destined Realms, as it's been called. And if I flip over to the Legends viewer, I can show you a little bit about it. And I'd like to talk about that a bit more, because I need your help choosing where to start. Because I think I'm going to start a bit of Dwarf Fortress on the channel. But my intention is that for games like Dwarf Fortress, and for some of the older games I've been looking at, like Subnautica and The Forest and TerraTech, I'll probably stream them. And for newer games, I will record traditional Let's Plays of them. And now it's time for some bad news. So, bad news, the Planetbase Let's Play, I'm pretty sure it will be lost. The save game was on my computer. That has died. I did record an episode, so I can tell you what happened. What I can give you is that the last episode lasted 5 minutes. That was it, because I managed to stabilize the base. There was food. The two people surviving were doing okay, and then some invaders turned up. 3 invaders turned up, murdered them. It was really tragic. I really would have loved to have put that on the channel. It would have been quite a funny and fitting into that rather disastrous last play of Planetbase. But as it stands, we won't get to see it. Very sad. The other bad news is that Hearts of Iron 4 has also gone kaput. I don't have any cloud saves for it. I'm pretty sure I could have ticked the box to save in the cloud in Hearts of Iron 4, and I did not. So I'm a very bad person, and I should probably be told off by everyone in the comments for that. I have some so it's kind of up to you guys. What I could do is play through Hearts of Iron 4 Soviets until the kind of point where the last episode was. I mean, events might play out a little differently, but they shouldn't play out that much differently, and then I could pick up, or I could start over. I kind of really want to see how my army does against the Soviets. Sorry, they are the Soviets. How they do against the Germans. So please, in the comments, tell me what you think. As for Planetbase, I think I might play through a few of the challenges, and I will probably do that. I'll probably do that as a stream as well. I've got a few ideas for some new Let's Play content, and I'm hoping I'll get to the games before I go away at the end of July for a week. I'll be in Australia. We'll have to see how that goes. So yeah. Fingers crossed everything works out beautifully there, and we'll have some new Let's Plays on the channel. I'll be streaming some older games, and everything will go very nice from now on. No more exploding computers. Now, that's kind of it for channel news. One more thing. Earlier in June that is, I visited a Game Developers of Wellington meetup, and I saw some really cool games in development. There's a blog post about that on my Patreon page. I'm pretty sure everyone can get to that accounting of what took place at that event. Pretty good fun. There were a bunch of students mostly showing off their game development efforts, and there were some really interesting ideas in there. It was quite nice. It's nice to be able to go along and chat to these guys about YouTube, about getting their games out there, that kind of stuff. So yeah, part of my Patreon goal is to go out and support local developers with whatever knowledge I can share about getting their stuff in front of YouTubers and streamers and whatnot. So right, on to Dwarf Fortress. What I thought I would do is I really need to do a bit of catching up on my Dwarf Fortress skills. It's been a little while since I played. And as some of you may or may not know, I wrote a book about Dwarf Fortress a while ago, and it really deserves an update. And if people already own the book and they've owned it through O'Reilly, they're able to get that update to their ebooks free. So I owe it to them. And I thought, wow, what better way to do that than to play it on the channel? My intent is to stream Dwarf Fortress because it's that kind of crazy game. I can chat to people who come up in comments, and it's quite a long form sort of game, as many of you may or may not know. And yeah, I think streaming will be a good way to do that. Not too time intensive for me to edit, and if you're not interested in it, then you just simply don't have to watch it. But I will talk about what this world is, because I've been firing up the Legends viewer, which I'll flip over to now. And in the Legends viewer, you should see that, what have we got here? This is the Destined Realms, and I've exported all the legends for it, and so you can see the map here of it. And I can turn on the civilizations, and there's some interesting things going on here, and I need some opinions on where to start. So one of the options I'm quite interested in is down in the south. There's a tower, and this tower, if it will, oh, I did kind of want to click on it, never mind. This tower is full of undead and necromancer, and a couple of necromancer students, I think. And around it are some goblins. There's a goblin civilization. This goblin civilization actually managed to exterminate, if I click on it, they did actually manage to exterminate this civilization, the Letter of Reputations, which was a dwarf civilization that got wiped out in the Scalding War, which took place up to year 123. And if I scroll right to the bottom, oh, there's somewhere in here if I look for the Scalding War. So this is one of the cool things about Dwarf Fortress. When you generate a world, it generates a ton of history. So yeah, in 125 year, a goblin, they basically took over all the fortresses, I think. Yeah. They defeated the Letter of Reputations, placed a goblin in charge of it, and the new government was called the Wilted Torment. So yes, this civilization in the bottom, which has a tower next to it. Oh look, I can actually look here. Oh, these are the sites they took over. Cool, there's the movement of the armies around the map. Neat. So if I go back to this site here, there's a tower there, goblins, pretty bad people down here. The other option could be to settle around a volcano next to this group of goblins, the Barbarity of Dashing. I don't know if these guys are particularly bad. They've just fought some elves, which I don't really mind. So that's one option. Up here we've got a whole bunch of dwarf civilizations, which are red, and human civilizations, which are blue, and the light green are elves. And there is another tower in this vicinity somewhere, I've lost it, that would potentially be interesting to settle near. There's a bunch of evil terrain, but there are kind of only elves in the vicinity. Elves and humans. There's probably some goblins within reach, but can't spot any right now. Not too many around. So I could try and be around this evil area here, the purple area in the forests, and take on this tower. The other option involves coming up to the north here, either into these scorching wilds, where there are some dwarfs here living in these scorching deserts, or somewhere around these goblins. And I can tell you why that's interesting in a sec. So if I come back to the stats, as you can see, a whole bunch of goblins live here. The Trumpet of Tips, which is one of the dwarf civilizations, it has come to me. It's in the northwest, as you can see. It has a goblin in charge. Yeah, a goblin. This goblin was born in year 176 and is still around in year 600 odd, which means that goblin is probably either a vampire or a necromancer. But this goblin is in charge of this dwarf civilization, so they don't have much of a history. They've been king of the Trumpet of Tips since 563. They don't have any other children or anything, just a mother and father. And they were basically born, as far as I can tell, straight into Distant Stockade, which is this Trumpet of Tips city. So they were born into, and this does actually happen now and then, or not actually now and then, quite often in Dwarf Fortress. Goblins and what have you, elves can move into other people's cities, and so can humans. And you end up with a population, which if I just come back to these guys, you'll see. Come on. You'll see they should, where is it? There should be a population here. So this population of the Trumpet of Tips, they have 319 goblins living within the civilization. And the interesting thing about the king, if I pull up his details again, this king has actually killed, where is he? He's got a kill list at the bottom. No, where is it? Go for it. Come on. Oh, I can't find it. Anyway, I'm pretty sure if I looked through this history, and he'd actually fought and killed at least a couple of other goblins, and I don't know, an elf and a human, I think, which was kind of interesting. So options are, and I'll go back to this map. The options are, let me know what you think. Southern tower, facing off against goblins. There's an aquifer there, which will make it pretty tough. Some kind of volcanic glacier with goblins nearby, or somewhere up here just facing off a fairly generic horde of goblins. And the civilization to go for could go the Trumpet of Tips, which are the most unusual goblins, dwarf civilization out there, or one of the others. There are others. There's nothing particularly exciting about the other ones. They all seem to have very normal kinds of leaders. So let me know what you think about that in the comments for the video. That'd be appreciated. And I will then be able to come back to Dwarf Fortress, and I will enjoy populating some kind of city. Yeah, that could be good fun. So that's where things are for the channel at present. Look for some new game content once things settle down a bit, and also once a few new games release. It's been a little dry the past couple of weeks, at least for games that I really want to enjoy. I hope that I'll see some of you on the streams when and if I can get them running. I know the times aren't great for many of you, but that's okay. They do end up on the channel eventually anyway. And until next time, I've been Tiny Pirate. Thanks for sticking with me over the past few weeks of random sort of content coming and going. If I do manage to get my files back, I will see what I can do about putting stuff up on the channel that you guys missed out on. But until then, please tell me, what do you think I should do with Hearts of Iron 4? And where should I settle in Dwarf Fortress? Those are two good questions for you. Let me know in the comments below. Have a great time. Good night.